Next up, we have the buttons. So we have 3 different buttons that we can have around the system. Now I've got 3 different button types going on here. By clicking this, I can then see, and it can show me different options. And here we go, we can just see them change. But then we can go and either customize by clicking this or clicking over here. And then we can override and change how we'd like things. So what that means is we can change the fonts. We can change all different sizes of this. So let's come in and do something like this. And then here we go. So the fill means that it's like this. This has got it's all filled in. And then the no fill basically means the outlined version. So here's our outlined version. Obviously this one, now I've ticked it, then I've selected it, then hasn't got an outline. So then I can just introduce the outline here and just changing the thickness around it by doing that. And then the padding is how much of an extra gap has this got around. So I can then change this so, or I could come in and like manually override it. So then that means I can again just either slide this, and you can see down the bottom here, that is just changing over here. Now I like to make it not too small because otherwise the text won't be able to properly fit inside. So you do need a bit of breathing room, which is why often I like just to use these pre-selected ones. Then I can either take this and then match with the primary button that I've just gone and made myself. So here we go. We could just match that up. Or I could then, so that's changed the different fonts, etc. Or I could then come in and change things. So I might decide that for this version, I want this to be a filled in one. And then for my other version, I could either keep it to be something the same. It doesn't necessarily have to be different. So we could keep it like this. And again, either like match with the primary, but then this one I might decide has the slightly thicker outline to it. So it's all fairly consistent, but just very subtle differences. Now, the reason that we might choose to have an outlined version or a filled in version is then if you do place buttons around the site, whether that is on top of an image or whether that is just next to one another, then you can start to do things where you then almost have you then start to do things where you can then suggest to the user, here is the primary thing that I want you to go and look at, or here is a suggested secondary thing. So here we go. I've got my first button, but I want to make sure that this can be seen through the image. So therefore I'm going to put it on the filled solid version. So I've got that, but then I might decide to have an outlined version over here. So here we go. I've got our outlined version, but here we go. The text looks a little bit thin on that one. So let's come back into our site styles, into our button, and then here, we're then just going to slightly increase this font weight, so then we can see that coming through. All of these can be just tweaked and be able to have all of these different versions in place. Or if you wanted to, you could just reset things back to how you wanted it.